Deputy Leader of Opposition to carry on the opposition case. Here.
Okay, Rohan said to be a party people because he said, look, we're talking about Iron Man, but it's the real world. Unfortunately, in the real world, we don't have Iron Man, so we don't really see the context of debate that is setting. Clearly, in this debate, we're talking about an amalgamation between the Marvel universe and certain logic that underlie that universe that reverses itself in the real world that we see today. Right? It's kind of dynamics that we're talking about. But even then, right, I'm just going to deal with them in the real world as well, like intertwined with my substantive later. Like, we have a couple of questions of rebuttal dealing, regarding why government can be trusted, and why Tony Stark would be a person that we can trust, and I'm going to have a couple of substantives as well. The first would be how the possession of an army of Iron Men will make the world a bigger threat for supervillains like Thanos to basically come to attack the Earth, and I'm going to explain this to make a lot of sense. And secondly, the subversion of the Iron Man as a symbol of hope and why that's necessarily a bad thing. But before that, why the government can be trusted. So some serious stuff first, right? Their argument was, governments are not people. And the reason they're not people is because there's a range of different ways you can approximate the best moral outcome that you can act upon, right? Yes, we do agree that and we concede that. But let's look at the nature of the governments that we're talking about. Despite having the democratic processes that they have been lauding throughout two speakers, you're talking about a government that was willing to nuke the city of Manhattan after an alien invasion that lasted less than 1 hour. That's the kind of government you're talking about, willing to risk the lives of millions and millions of New Yorkers. Secondly, they didn't really deal with the nuance coming out in Hong's speech, right? That the use of armed force is not something that's opened up to the democratic process. It's an insulated process that's basically left up to the individual members to be elected by these individuals, right? And they, like if you agree, the individuals are defined by loosely based rules and that they are basically uncontrollable. What makes you think that a decision created or made by a small group of individuals of the same fundamental paradigm would necessarily make the best moral outcome in such instances as well? The third response, in the way we're talking about, for some reason or another, they're particularly vulnerable to attacks from gods, supervillains, and also super mutants. The United States government in possession of such weaponry would usually be unused to the kind of threats that they're facing and wouldn't know exactly how to respond to the kind of new threats and the new villains, and they would basically abuse the kind of power, or they would basically respond in the best way possible. But let's assume we're back in the real world, right? Can we trust a government with a set of weaponry that they don't quite understand, with force that they can't quite control, in a situation where they are very tempted to project their military force in certain areas of the world to show that they can bend those areas down to their will? We don't necessarily think so. Then let's compare this with our next argument, right? Individuals who are based by loosely defined rules. We do agree that. But we need to talk specifically about the individual in question, Tony Stark. Because what we think here is that even though he's based, basically he's governed by loosely defined rules, we think that this is an individual who has been shown a predilection to basically give the best moral outcome in almost all instances. We're talking about an individual who has shown repeatedly the ability to self-sacrifice. But let's assume, right, that we can't guarantee the ability for Tony Stark to stay on the straight and narrow. What then happens? We think it's good that only one man possesses the weaponry right now, because the United States Army and its possession of nukes and its militaries and the other Avengers will be able to act as a check upon one individual in possession of a particular weapon. If you talk about a military with an army of Iron Men, it becomes increasingly harder for us to act as a check upon the use of these weaponry, especially if these people were to abuse such force. Not only that, right, they completely ignored all the good arguments coming from Hong Li, right? The idea about the arms race. Because what's happening right now is that we're talking about a world where basically countries like China and Russia have realized that to project their military power, to lay claim to becoming a superpower, is not just about the projection of military force. They try to establish themselves as economic powers. That's why we see China establishing links and economic trades with countries like Angola to immerse and wire themselves into the greater international community. But what happens when the United States suddenly possesses an army of Iron Men? Immediately they realize the United States has an immediate monopoly over one sector of what it needs to be a superpower. That's when they be pushed into a dangerous arm race where they try and build up the kind of nukes that they have to counter that threat, or they try to establish some kind of counterforce. And in an age where we've reached a new level of detente between people like Obama and Vladimir Putin, who's willing to press the reset button and scale down the cover of nuclear arms that you're talking about, we think this regression, where you reinforce and reignite the arms race, is something that's extremely bad. Yes?
So, right. So, under your guidance, Tony Stark is the savior of the world. What if you suddenly diagnosed with Alzheimer's?
Okay, then we'll make sure that Tony Stark basically destroys the Iron Man suit and nobody ever gets it again, right? I think there's a better option than providing to the military when increasingly more and more scientists are going to work on it, make it a lot more dangerous, and allow the kind of monopoly of power in the hands of the United States government. Now I'm going to further extend this with new substantive. How this makes wars more possible in these instances. What are we talking about right now? Right now, there have been lots of clever for the United States to project itself military to areas like, for example, Congo, or like Uganda to capture people like Tony, or in areas, for example, Yemen and Syria, to basically help them out in the case of just intervention. But what's basically going to happen right now is that they've not quite done that because they've been restrained by the cost, by the human equation to making such a decision, right? Like whether it's just enough for us to put our soldiers into these conflict zones, whether it's important enough for us to make such calls. But the moment you make these individuals Ironmans in their own right, it can act with a culture of impunity that we think makes wars more protractable. But why is this dangerous? It's because of the unique nature of the Ironman. If you're talking about nuclear weapons, right, usually a short destruction works like this. I use one nuke and poof. Unfortunately, a lot of people die, but it's a short, drawn war. But when you're talking about Ironman, it's basically normal conventional warfare with individuals with souped up weaponry. We think that the nature of conventional warfare means that it's long and drawn out. When you allow these individuals to be in possession of things that are almost like nuclear weapons, you're going to result in greater losses of lives, especially in the context of an arms race. We think this is especially difficult and will result in the kind of losses of lives that we think we want to avoid. And that's the problem. No. We move on to the next argument, right? How exactly, like this is the moral point, I know a couple of you won't understand, but let's go for it anyway. Let's look. Steadily is a bit warped. For some reason or another, the stronger the Earth becomes, the greater thought it provides to supervillains, and the stronger supervillains tend to come down. For example, Thanos. The reason why Thanos wants to come and invade Earth is simply because it was told to him that Earth was provided strong resistance and to challenge them was to court death. Unfortunately, Thanos likes courting death. That he thinks it's a challenge for him to go in and attack the Earth. The moment the Earth is in possession of an army of Iron Men, it makes them it provides stronger resistance for these individuals and a stronger thought for supervillains like Thanos to come into the world. And we think this is dangerous because we don't think the United States government, with people who are willing to nuke the city of Manhattan for an invasion that lasts 45 minutes, be able to deal with supervillains like Thanos that we think we're basically going to get screwed. And that's a huge problem that we have. Last argument, the subversion of the symbol of the Iron Man. In the Marvel Universe, for some reason or another, people are always in trouble. And they always turn to the superheroes to help them out, right? There's always like a lizard running around or some kind of supervillain. So this shows a failure of state action to remedy this problem.